We are back. Sorry for the technical difficulties. The Cropdusters just struck out just struck out Cole Constable to bring them to 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, where they trail 8-1 to the big train with 1 runner at third and 2 outs. Jaden Newton, the pitcher, Justin Nadeau, the batter. He takes the 1-1 low for ball 2.
Jaden Newton really has done a good job up until this point, eating innings for the Dusters.
2-1 the count with 2 outs. One well pitch away from ending it. Not there. It's ball 3 on a sky-high fastball. Nadeau has walked once, hit twice. He is 2 for 3 on the day in his first game as a Big Train member. Takes the 3-1 high, ball 4, his second walk of the day. This is an on-base machine. Now it brings up Chris Diaz, 0 for 3 on the game.
Jish, something interesting to point out. Jaden Newton's ERA on the year is .68, 13 and a third innings pitched. He can get out of this without giving up an earned run. It's in striking distance of that leaderboard for all-time single-season pitching leaders.
Still a long season to go.
But how many more outings will he have?
First pitch to Diaz, slammed into shallow center. McMeans, the second baseman, stares up at it, makes the two-handed squeeze for out number 3. So no runs scored despite a runner being at third base for the Big Train. Their third consecutive scoreless inning. The Cropdusters have to get the offense going in the top of the 7th. Stay with us here on YouTube to find out if they do. We can apologize for the technical difficulties. We are back here for the top of the 7th inning. Cropdusters trail 8-1 in the top of the 7th, and there's a new pitcher for the Big Train. That's Parker Thomas, the righty from East Carolina, has already played once against the Cropdusters. Picked up the loss the last time these teams played back on June 28th. Went 3 innings with 4 hits, 1 walk. 2 earned runs was all that was needed. But 4 strikeouts. This is a guy who can get hit around, but can tighten up when he needs to.
He has swing and miss stuff. Just got to be able to locate it.
It'll be up to Kevin McMeans to break in the new pitcher after Jack Robinson went 2 innings. Kevin McMeans led off against Jack Robinson in his first at-bat, and he doubled 1 of 2 hits for the Cropdusters today. See if he has any more magic in the bat against Parker Thomas this time. Thomas gave up an earned run to Kevin McMeans, the game-winning one, the last time these two players faced off. McMeans, surprisingly, has gotten on base both of his at-bats. He's 1 for 2, but reached on an error his first time up. Just not something you are accustomed to seeing from a batter who hits 151 on the year. The Cropdusters have only had 4 base runners tonight, and Kevin McMeans has represented 2 of them. The sun is now completely set here at Shirley Povich Field. We are set to go 8-1, the Big Train lead. In the top of the 7th, McMeans will have to show off the flare again. He takes the first pitch high for strike one. Had a double his last time up, came around to score. He's the only runner to score for the Cropdusters today. The 0-1. Takes one low, but a called strike on the corner for strike two.
McMean's double came off of a fastball. Look for him to hunt a similar pitch.
0-2 the count, at risk of striking out for the first time. Instead takes a ball off of one that skips off the front of the dirt for ball one. A 1-2 count for the leadoff McMeans, the light, providing the only illumination at the field, the 1-2. Swing and a hard hit ground ball to short. Franklin fields it, shuffles twice, and throws across for out number one. The last 5 batters for the Cropdusters have been put down in order, with Griffin Pouvel up to bat. A sacrifice bunt his last time up brought McMeans to third base after McMeans stole. Pouvel fouls off the first pitch for strike one. He struck out earlier this game. He is 0 for 2. Griffin Pouvel, the rider right fielder, has had a busy day on defense, catching a few fly balls. Now has to put his cleats in and do the work with one out and none on in the top of the 7th. He takes one low and away for ball one.
Such a solid defensive outfielder. Play all 3 positions.
1-1 the count for Pouvel. The pitch. Right down the middle for strike two. Parker Thomas goes off speed to put him 1 pitch away from his first punch out. Thomas doesn't like the first one he sees, and the 1-2. Low and in on the fastball, ball 2. Ballerina, 2-2 count with none on and 1 out. In the top of this 7th, the Crops trail by 7. The 2-2. A pitch low and away, ball 3 on the curveball. Pouvel wisely keeps the bat in his shoulder to bring the count full. Full count on the way next. The pitch, low and in, ball 4. Griffin Pouvel takes his first base of the evening.
Nice job by Griffin Pouvel. Worked back into the count. Takes a walk.
1 out in the top of this 7th. Jason Janesco up to bat. Has the only RBI today on a sacrifice fly. 2 flyouts to his name. Now we'll have to put one in play to bring Pouvel around the bases. But first, Constable and Thomas talk things over at the pitcher's mound before Janesco, the righty outfielder, looks to begin the comeback. Thomas steps back onto the bump. Constable retakes his position behind the plate. There's 1 runner on with 1 out in the top of the 7th. Griffin Pouvel just reached on a walk to first base. He's the lone base runner. If Janesco gets on, it's the top of the order back up. Crops trail 8-1. Thomas the pitch. Right down the middle, strike 1 with the heat. Jason Janesco, his first time facing off against his ECU teammate Parker Thomas. Has to get a feel of his teammate first. The 0-1. In the dirt, ball 2. Ball 1, excuse me. Janesco keeping the bat on his shoulder, watching, studying the 2 pitches he's seen. Gets ready with a 1-1 count. 1 on and 1 out in the top of the 7th. Swing and a foul ball, strike 2. Janesco was well out ahead of that pitch. One, 2 the count. The Pirate looks to steal some runs back with Pouvel at first base. Thomas gives him a look at the bag before dealing the 1-2. Outside, ball 2. Pouvel takes second on the wild pitch. But the steal would have been successful anyway. Constable was in no position to pop up and make the play. Double play taken off the table with 1 out in the top of this 7th. Huvel showing off the speed. Two-two the count. One out in the top of the seventh. Huvel up to 5 steals on the year. He's only been caught one time traveling from first to second.
Very smart decision maker on the base paths.
2-2 on the way next for the bottom of the order hitter, Janesco. Checks his swing as a ball misses in the dirt. Goes wild, but Huvel stays at second. Constable shuffle step down the first base line to stay in front of it and bring the count full with one out. Janesco hitting .243 on the year. 3 of those hits came right here at this venue. Still looking for his first knock tonight. Full count. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Jason Janesco is put away swinging. So now there's 2 outs in the top of the 7th with the top of the order up. Josh Reinhold steps into the righty batter's box. 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. He's got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Only 2 hits to speak of for the Cropdusters. Reinhold would love to get hit number 3. The pitch from Thomas. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 on the low heat. You know, Jack, every time these teams played, it's come within 3 runs, the final result, but the Cropdusters look lifeless. In a 7-run hole, it's hard to believe that they could come back from this.
They really do. This is probably the worst offensive performance this season.
And we've seen some bad ones. The 0-1 misses off the plate for ball 1. Just 2 hits to speak of. Huvel is the 5th base runner on. He got there via walk and a steal. 1-1 the count. 2 outs. 1 on in the top of the 7th. A called strike on the low corner inside for strike 2 to Reinhold. One that he had to dance away from, but a called strike nonetheless. 1-2 the count. Parker Thomas can slam the 7th inning shut with 1 more strike. Can't do it there. A slider misses away for ball 2. Reinhold evens things up. 2-2 the count. 2 outs with Huvel at second. An 8-1 hole for the Cropdusters. They're grasping at straws. A 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Or no, never mind, a foul tip. Reinhold barely got the top of that baseball with his swing to stay alive and keep the inning alive. Two the count. 2 outs after a ferocious swing from Reinhold. Thomas, a look back before delivering the 2-2. There's the strikeout. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Reinhold is put away swinging. 2 straight strikeouts to end the 7th inning. The Cropdusters' bats are lifeless. Jish, Sokolsky, Jack Feldman on the call for this one. The big train hold an 8-1 lead to the bottom of the 7th inning. Seventh inning stretch has concluded. We're ready for more baseball at the bottom of the seventh. 8-1, the Big Train lead over the Cropdusters with a new pitcher in for the away side. Caleb Menina, the lefty from North Alabama, just has to play mop-up duty. Jaden Newton, the reliever before him, did a pleasant job to somewhat shut down the Big Train side. Only 2 earned runs in 4 innings pitched. So Menina will have to keep the good times rolling. 3 straight shutout innings for the Big Train. You can't expect them to stay quiet for too long.
No, Jaden Newton really did do a job eating these innings, making it manageable for Caleb Menina to finish the game, because Cropdusters this late in the season don't really want to go to an emergency pitcher.
The Cropdusters are staring their 15th loss square in the face with the playoff race heating up. And there's a pinch hitter on for Luke Vaughn. Jack Guerrero comes in, getting his first at-bat. First pitch, high and in, ball 1. So Luke Vaughn's day is done. The all-star catcher went 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch, 2 strikeouts. The one non-productive hitter for the Big Train today. We'll see if Jack Guerrero can clean up after his mess. He chops one down the first base line to second. McMeans fields it and tosses it underhand to first base for out number 1.
Here's one of those games for the Cropdusters. It's a long season. These games are bound to happen, but just not an encouraging sign for this offense.
After scoring just 1 run last night versus the Southern Maryland Senators, that's all they've been able to score thus far tonight. An 8-1 ball game, the Big Train lead over the Cropdusters. Emilio Gonzalez up to bat. The all-star first baseman is 1 for 1 today as he slaps one to second. McMeans fields it at the edge of the dirt and makes the play for out number 2.
A couple of nice, easy plays for Calvin McMeans for second.
Menina, the lefty, doesn't throw the hardest, but has forced weak contact on back-to-back batters. Now 1 batter away from going 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Jaden Bastian, the next batter up. 1 for 3 on the day. A single coming in the 3rd inning. Hit by pitch his last time up with 2 strikes. Shows bunts as the pitch misses high for ball 1. Menina, his 83-mile-per-hour fastball misses north. 1-0 the count for the fresh-armed Menina. Swing and a miss for strike 1. A heavy swing from Bastian trying to pull one to left field. Instead, he comes up with a strike. Menina ties it up at 1-1. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th with no runners on. The 1-1 pitch barely misses the bottom corner. Ball 2. Well-placed pitch. 2-1 the count. 2 outs. None on. Menina from the windup induces a foul ball. Bastian sent it backwards for strike 2.
Menina, a good option to try and finish this game out. You know he's going to throw strikes. Really pounces up.
There are very few games that get away from Menina. He's got some of the best command of these Cropdusters pitchers. Doesn't throw the hardest, but throws with precision. 2-2 on the way. Check swing on a pitch that was framed well by Ahern, but a called ball on the outside corner. So now a full count with the inning on the line. Cropdusters looking to go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 7th. They trail 8-1 to the Big Train. 3-2 the count, 2 outs, none on. Swing and a fly ball sent foul will do it again. Bastian a little late on that swing, but does enough to stay alive and keep the inning alive. Big Train haven't scored since the 3rd inning. They still lead 8-1. Full count, 2 outs on the way next. Menina kicks and deals. Too high, ball 4. Jaden Bastian takes a base. Jack, we both got our faces in our palms right now. Nothing has gone right for the Cropdusters tonight. and everything has gone right for the big train, seemingly.
You're absolutely right, Jish. Just an embarrassing performance against their rivals.
The Cropdusters own the season series 3-1. They're working fast towards loss number 2 against the big train this season. Menina misses Whitaker high and away for ball 1 on the first pitch. Just as we praise his command, he's thrown. A walk-in starts off the next batter with a ball. Swing and a pop fly down the left field line and foul for strike 1. One the count. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. The big train lead the Cropdusters 8-1. And the big train have only needed 6 hits to score those 8 runs, including a huge 3-run homer back in the 3rd. That's economical, to say the least. The big train have been on fire as of late. The 1-1 curves just beyond the outside corner for ball 2. Whitaker pulls ahead, 2 balls to 1 strike with a runner on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-1. Low and away, ball 3. Menina at risk of walking his second straight batter. It took Menina 2 pitches to get 2 groundouts this inning. But after a walk, he's 1 pitch away from walk number 2. 3-1. There it is. Pitch low and in for ball 4. Bastian takes second, and Whitaker takes first on his second walk of the day.
Just nobody able to find the strike zone for the Cropdusters tonight.
8 walks already given up for the Cropdusters. 4 hit by pitches. 2 runners on in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Menina fails to throw a strike again. Misses high and away to Jordan Crosland. 1-0 the count. Crosland ahead of Menina. 2 outs, 2 men on at first and second. Menina a look back and the delivery. Right down the middle, strike 1, an undeniable fastball buried into the top corner.
Big 1-1 pitch coming up.
See which way it breaks. The last 2 times against Bastian and Whitaker, he's thrown a ball at this junction. The 1-1 runner goes. Swing and a ball hit into deep right. Puvel finds it in the lights and makes the squeeze for out number 3. It was a scary sight. Puvel ran up 2 steps before running back for out number 3, and that ends the 7th inning. No runs scored again for the big train, but they still lead 8-1 to the 8th inning we go. Jish Sokolsky and Jack Feldman on the call. (8-1), the Cropdusters trail to the big train after 7 innings. To the top of the 8th we go. Jish Sokolsky, Jack Feldman on the call for this one. Parker Thomas following up in his predecessor's footsteps with another clean inning for the big train. 2 strikeouts to end the 7th, now in the top of the 8th. He looks for similar success, starting off with Quinn Ahern, the UPenn catcher.
This Cropdusters lineup tonight is really a microcosm of the season, just way too inconsistent. not being able to get the big hit with runners in scoring position, and they've just been demoralized tonight on all facets of the game.
Quinn Ahern owns half of the team's hit tonight. He has one hit. That single came back in the third inning. He is 1 for 2 with a walk his last at-bat in the fifth.
Can I add some commentary here, Jish?
That's your job.
It's not great.
I would agree with you, Jack. I'd agree with that commentary. This is why we pay you the big bucks. Quinn Ahern to lead off the top of the eighth. The Crops trail by 7. The first pitch careens into the bottom corner for strike 1 on the curveball. Parker Thomas has excellent command of that curveball and gets ahead of Ahern. 0-1. Swinging a foul ball for strike 2. Quinn Ahern very late on the off-speed. 0-2 the count. Parker Thomas 1 strike away from his third punch-out of the evening. He's only pitched 1 inning. Can't get it there. A fastball high and away for ball 1. 1-2 the count for the leadoff Ahern. The pitch. Swing and a line drive. Hit to center field and it falls for a base hit. Quinn Ahern gets his second hit of the day. Another single brings the team's total to 3. Cropdusters still trail 8-1 to the big train. Now with 3 hits, though, in the top of the 8th. And 1 runner on. Anthony Swenda is 0 for his last 7 in the last 2 games. 2 strikeouts last night, 2 strikeouts tonight, 0 for 3 today. He's got a runner at first with no outs. Takes the first pitch inside for strike 1. The fastball got him looking.
Something needs to be done, whether it's to switch the lineup around, just to jolt this offense, just because we're running out of games.
I don't know what the Cropdusters could feasibly do. 1-1, too low, ball 1 to even things up. Swenda getting his first, I guess, low-pressure at-bat of the night. All 3 of his previous at-bats came with 2 outs. Now he gets 0 outs with 1 on. We'll see if that plays a difference. The 1-1 on the low inside corner for strike 1, a questionable call. Seemed to go right by Swenda's toes, but instead of 1-2.
And just, you might say, well, they just put up double-digit runs in back-to-back games, but that was off of really subpar pitching.
The 1-2 is cracked to third and through for a base hit. Swenda keeps the party going with back-to-back hits in the top of the 8th. And where was this all night? That's his first hit of the game. It brings Ahern to second and Swenda to first with no outs in the top of this 8th.
Still no outs. We've seen the Cropdusters almost lose a 9-1 lead at this very field.
From your mouth to God's ears, Jack.
Well, I don't have high hopes, Josh.
Ahia Koje up to bat with 2 on. Takes the first pitch inside for strike 1. Parker Thomas loves the inside heat to start off these batters, and it's worked every single time. Koje looking for his first hit. 2 pop-ups spelled his last 2 at-bats. The 0-1 misses off the plate, ball 1. He had a walk in his first time around, was stranded at third base all the way back into second. Still no hits in the top of the 8th. 1-1 the count. The Cropdusters have doubled their hit total this inning. Koje swings and fouls it off for strike 2. One he wanted back. That was the pitch he was waiting for. Just a little too late on the swing.
They say you get 1 pitch in that bat that you can really do damage with him. That might have been a Koje's pitch right there.
Koje bent over, grimaced after missing that swing. He wants that one back. 1-2 the count, no outs in the top of the 8th. The Crops trail 8-1 with 2 on. Ahern at second, Swenda at first. The pitch from Thomas. Off the plate, ball 2. Great snatch from Constable behind the plate to stop the pitch from going wild and keeping the runners where they are. A little backhanded snack from the catcher to keep the runners glued.
It's really kind of the heartbeat of that team defensively, Jish.
Hence why the catcher is an all-star. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, no outs. The pitch. 2 low, ball 3 at full count. Ahia Koje has walked once today, on the verge of doing so again from a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sokolsky hits the ball hard. The 3-2. Takes it low and away. Bases loaded on a walk.
Parker Thomas certainly was not trying to walk and kicks the dirt in frustration. We'll see what kind of leash Sokolsky gives him here.
Ryan Boma, with bases loaded, has a huge chance for his first hit. As here comes the meeting with Sokolsky. To answer your question, Jack, pretty short. Parker Thomas talking with the coach, but it appears as though he's staying in. Colangelo has his right hand on his left shoulder. Trying to give him some words of encouragement. This doesn't look like a send-off just yet, Jack, but with bases loaded, Parker Thomas has to tighten up. Already with 2 hits allowed this inning and a walk to load the bases, he'll have to get a needed ground ball or punch out versus Ryan Boma to avoid the Cropdusters' second run.
Cropdusters just have to focus on putting up good at bat after good at bat, just going down the line, and then they can look up and maybe make this a ball game.
Ryan Boma steps into the righty batter's box with bases loaded. No home runs statistically this season, although he poked one out against the Chili Peppers in an exhibition game just 2 days ago. We'll see if he still has it in him with bases loaded and no outs in the top of this 8th. Crops trail 8-1. Parker Thomas steps off again before we resume play. Ahern at third, Swenda at second, Okoje at first. The pitch. Fastball gets away from Constable, sprinting home as Ahern, and he gets there standing up. The Cropdusters now have 2 runs. A wild pitch with bases loaded makes it 8-2 in the top of the 8th.
Parker Thomas seemingly has lost control of the strike zone.
Worked into a full count against Okoje, but after loading the bases, the confidence shaken. Okoje is now at second, Swenda's at third, both in scoring position. Boma cracks one down the third base line and off the glove for a base hit. Nadeau can't field it. 1 run scores. Swenda from third. Okoje rounds second, and he gets home as Boma slides safely to second. Well, how do you do? It's now 8-4. The Cropdusters have cut the deficit in half off a double from Ryan Boma.
Looks like the throw beat Ryan Boma to the bag, and he had a nifty slide to get around the tag, and if he was tagged out there, it would have been interesting to see if that run was going to score Jish.
So now a second meeting. Parker Thomas's day is done after squandering a bases-loaded chance. With no outs, the Cropdusters now only trail by 4. Up to 5 hits on the day. Where was this all day?
They've already total amount of hits in this inning alone, Jish.
Ryan Boma sends in 2 off the double and turns it over to a reliever. And it's a man they call Mad Max. Max Martzoff, the rating first-team All-League pitcher for the Big Train, is back for his second year, and he's an all-star yet again. The lefty from FAU dominates moments like this to close out games. He's been someone they trusted all season long. Martzoff never pitches more than 2 innings an outing, but has the 3rd most strikeouts in the league. Had 6 strikeouts in 2 innings pitched versus the Giants his last time relieving. The hefty lefty throws hard.
See that Anthony Swenda in the dugout. He was here last year. Probably knows the book. Martzoff's giving a rundown to some of the on-deck hitters and the hole hitters.
With 1 runner on, Parker Fry is the first batter the lefty will face. Lefty on lefty action.
It's an uncomfortable at-bat, Jish.
It's going
Martzoff comes from a lower arm slot. Do not envy Parker Fry in this scenario.
This is Martzoff's first appearance versus the Cropdusters this season, and his reputation precedes him here at Bethesda. On lineup cards, instead of writing his last name like they do with every other player on the team. They just write Max. With no outs and a runner at second, the Cropdusters trail 8-4 in the top of the 8th with a new pitcher, Max Martsolf, out. We'll see if he can mitigate the damage. 3 runs have already scored in the top of this 8th, the most the Cropdusters have scored in an inning today. First pitch, a strike in the top corner to Parker Fry. 0-1 the count for the All-Star, dealing to the East Stroudsburg first baseman. The 0-1. Too low, ball 1. Parker Fry gains some ground back in search of his first hit, but it won't come easy. Contact on all 3 of his previous at-bats, but no cigar. 2 flyouts and a lineout to the first baseman. 1-1 the count. Boma at second base with not a lead to speak of as he ropes one through to left beyond the glove of Nadeau at third for a hit. Boma keeps his run going beyond the third base bag and comes home. The Cropdusters cut the lead to 3 off a Parker Fry single.
Can you predict baseball, Jish? I mean,
absolutely
the
not.
offense was absolutely lifeless all game long, and they have come alive in the 8th inning.
They can't help it, Jack. They have to make this game close every single time they play them. It's been within 3 runs.
Has there ever just been a ho-hum game between these 2 teams?
Never. There has never been, as long as I've been following the Cropdusters. Max Martsolf on his first batter allows a runner. They're calling that an error by Nadeau at third. So that's how it will be scored at the hot corner. Kevin McMeans, the next batter, takes a pitch inside for ball 1. He is 1 for 3 on the day with a loud double. The second hit of the day for the Cropdusters in the first run. McMeans has the runner at first, Parker Fry, with no outs. Takes one inside, but it sticks on the bottom corner for strike 1. Big Train lead 8-5 now in the top of this 8th. They came in leading 8-1. McMeans takes one off the plate for ball 2 to get ahead of the hefty lefty. Fry takes a short lead at first base. A dangerous thing to do against a lefty pitcher. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. McMeans wanted it all with that swing, was a hair too late. So now Martsolf is on the verge of his 33rd strikeout on the season. He has the 3rd most strikeouts in the league. 2-2, 1 on at first. No outs. High and away, ball 3. It gets away from Constable on the wild pitch. Fry stands up at second base, takes the double play off the table with no outs and a full count.
They got to find a way to manufacture this run, make it a 2-run ball game, something they've struggled with. Straining a lot of runners the past few weeks.
3-2 the count. Martsolf could get a huge punch out here, but McMeans could get an even bigger walk with a ball. Full count. 1 runner at second, no outs in the top of the 8th. The Crops have already scored 4 times. Ball inside. McMeans takes a base on a walk. Still no outs to speak of in the top of this 8th. With Griffin Pouvel up to bat, walked his last time up.
So it's going to be a pinch hitter. Bryce Herb stepping to the plate.
You're right, Jack. So Pouvel's day is done. Bryce Herb, the all-star for the Cropdusters, is going to look to ride the wave of momentum that the Cropdusters have had. The last 6 batters have gotten on. 4 have already scored in the top of the 8th. Bryce Herb, the team's leading hitter at .345, looks to do more damage. He represents the tying run.
It's truly a shocking turn of events in this 8th inning.
Still no home runs for Herb. He takes the first pitch high and away for strike 1.
Herb is an extra base hit machine, though. A lot of doubles.
Leads the team in extra bases thus far, even a triple in Game 2 of the season. 0-1 the count, 2 on. The pitch finds the inside part of the zone, strike 2. So, pinch hitting, as you say, Jack, is the hardest thing to do in baseball. Bryce Herb finds himself down 0-2 with no outs in the top of this 8th, at risk of being Martsolf's first strikeout victim. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
So difficult to come off the bench cold, and now it's up to Jason Chinesco to try to put a ball into the outfield, get this run in. This is a big run. 2-run game, 3-run game, totally different.
Janesko represents the tying run, stepping up to bat against Max Martzoff, fresh off his 33rd strikeout of the year. The Crops trail 8-5 in the top of this fourth, but showing as much life as they have all game. McMeans at first, Fry at second with 1 out. Double play on the table for the big train if they can get a ground ball. Janesko stares at the first pitch and off speed inside for strike 1. Janesko struck out swinging on a full count his last time up, looking for his first hit of the day. 0-1 the count. Fry at second, McMeans at first. Check swing as the pitch misses low, ball 1. 1-1 the count, 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. The Cropdusters now up to 6 hits on the day, which matches that of the big train. 1-1. Too high, ball 2. Janesko pulls ahead.
Seems like whenever these lights come on at Shirley Povich, something truly bizarre happens.
There's a huge gap in left field as the center fielder Diaz plays over to the right. All Janesko needs to do is pull one. The 2-1. Swing and a high foul ball sent towards the press box for strike 2.
Janesko really can hit to all fields, playing him to hit opposite field here.
2-2 the count. Martzoff just tossed his first strikeout. 1 pitch away from 2 in a row. Mad Max stares down Constable behind the dish, gets set, and delivers the 2-2. Swing and a fly ball hit to shallow right towards foul territory. Emilio Gonzalez watches it fall, so Janesko stays alive on a foul ball with 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Is Mad Max something you came up with?
No, that's a nickname that he has. Yes,
okay.
That's I was friends with the Big Train broadcasters from last season. That's what they would call him, so that's what I'm going to go with. 2-2 the count. Martzoff, another opportunity for his second strikeout. 1 out to speak of in the top of this 8th. The Crops have already scored 4 to make it an 8-5 ball game in favor of the home team. Janesko represents the tying run with a 2-2 count. The pitch from Martzoff. Swing, it's kept up the ground, to and through the second base side. Janesko safe at first. The bases are loaded with the top of the order up. An infield hit for Janesko. And now Josh Reinhold has a huge job to do. With bases loaded and 1 out in the top of the 8th, the Cropdusters only trail by 3 and the tying runs at first.
Josh Reinhold obviously wants the big swing, the go-ahead run. Time run at first, but he has to do a job, manufacture this run at third, just keep the front foot down, get a ball in the air, get Parker Fry home from third base.
Sack fly still on the table with 1 out and bases juice. Fry at third, McMeans at second, Janesko at first. First pitch from Martzoff. A dangerously misses high and away for ball 1.
Just everything going right in this inning for the Cropdusters when it seemed like this entire game, everything going wrong.
Reinhold ended the 7th inning with a strikeout. 1-0 the count. Takes his first at-bat of the 8th inning and takes it high for ball 2.
Still just 1 out.
Double plays on the table for the big train if Josh Reinhold grounds out again, as he's done twice already today. Still looking for that first hit. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. 2-0 the count. Reinhold takes it right down the middle for strike 1.
And would now be an opportune time for Reinhold to break out of this slump.
Reinhold hit 1 home run this season a month ago today back at the Braves. A second one here would give the Crops a lead. Instead, he takes one high and in for strike 2. One he had to duck away from, but a called strike regardless.
Martzoff has been getting 2 strikes on hitters, just not being able to finish the deal.
He has 1 strikeout already this inning. Another one would be huge with bases loaded. The 2-2. A looking strike 3 right on the corner of the zone. Josh Reinhold put away for his second straight time, and Quinn Ahern gets his second at-bat of the inning with 2 outs and bases loaded.
Not a spot you can strike out looking, and you have to put the ball in play. Try to get that run home from third.
Janesko at first, McMeans at second, Fry at third, Ahern with 2 hits already today, another one. Could potentially tie this game up. 2 outs, bases juice, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Ahern wanted it all early and got nothing.
Ahern's been the best hitter tonight for the Cropdusters. You mentioned the 2 hits.
The 0-1 with 2 outs. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Martzoff now 1 pitch away from his 3rd strikeout of the inning after coming in relief midway through and leaving the base runners stranded at all square bases. 0-2 the count for Ahern. The pitch. Swing and a miss! So the Cropdusters got hot but leave 3 on the bases. Max Martzoff puts 3 down, striking out. A crushing blow for the Cropdusters, who had the tying run at 3rd, now have a tough job to do when we return for the bottom of the 8th to hold the hot Big Train bats. It's 8-5 in favor of the home team. Stay with us here on YouTube. Eight to 5, the Cropdusters crawl back at the top of this 8th inning. Now it's up to the defense to hold the Big Train where they are to give the bats one final opportunity in the top of the 9th. Jish Sokolsky, Jack Feldman on the call for this one. Caleb Menina still out there to pitch. Gave up 2 walks, but got out of it in his first inning of work in the 7th. Forced weak contact as well. This is the full Caleb Menina experience.
Menina just trying to give the Cropdusters bats another opportunity to try and come back top of the 9th.
He leads off against Landon Franklin, the heavy-batted shortstop. Already hit one out of the park today, his only hit to speak of. Last time he led off was in the 2nd inning, walked and came all the way around to score. First pitch, hit deep in the air to center field. Janesco back on his horse at the warning track, tracks it at the wall and makes the over-the-shoulder grab for out number 1. 1 pitch was all it took, and the Cropdusters are 2 outs away from turning it back over to the bats. Bottom of the order hitter now, Cole Constable up to bat, 1 for 4 on the day. He's got no runners on and 1 out in an 8-5 game in the bottom of the 8th. Swing and a high chopper to short. Reinhold fields it on a leap and makes the routine throw across for out number 1.
Looks like he pulled maybe a hamstring on that play.
Yeah, it looked like Constable didn't even make a run in it. He's riling over in pain at the first base bag as he walks gingerly to the Big Train dugout. 2 pitches was all it took to get Menina through 2 outs in the last inning. It does the same thing again. So now Justin Nadeau up to bat. He's had himself quite the productive first outing for the Big Train. 2 hits, 2 walks with an error to get on the other time around. 2 for 3 on the day. Now with 2 outs and none on, he takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count for Menina, who can't make it 3 pitches, 3 outs. 1-0. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on a low changeup.
That would have been economical.
You're right. 2 outs, 1 ball, 1 strike, and 4 pitches for Menina in the bottom of this 8th. The Big Train lead 8-5 with no runners on and 2 outs. The pitch. Slider misses away, ball 2. 2-1 the count. Nadeau pulls ahead as he's done all game. He's walked twice. with 2 singles. The 2-1. Swing and a hard hit ball to second. McMeans fields it off the dirt and makes the throw to first, but Fry can't squeeze it. An error by the first baseman puts Justin Nadeau on and keeps the inning alive on what should have been the most routine play in baseball. In and out of Parker Fry's glove. Inexcusable, and now the big train keep the inning alive with Chris Diaz, the all-star, up to bat.
Inexcusable, the only word to describe that play.
The 4th error of the night for the Cropdusters infield. Very uncharacteristic. They've been near perfect all season long.
They really have. It's been ugly for them tonight.
Menina skies the first fastball for ball 1. 1-0 with 1 on, who reached via error. 2 outs in the bottom of this 8th. The pitch. Fastball cuts into the top corner. Strike 1. The big train lead 8-5 in the bottom of this 8th with 2 outs. Back at the plate, Diaz deals with a ball and a strike. Still looking for his first hit today. 0 for 4. The 1-1. Check swing on a slider missing well off the plate. Ball 2. Menina worked this count the last time up. Forced weak contact to second. Unfortunately, the error put Nadeau on. His 5th time on the base paths tonight. 2-1. Swing and a chopper sent foul. Strike 2. Menina now on the verge of his first strikeout after coming in last inning. He adjusts the glove, puts some rosin on the hands before getting going. 2-2 the count. Menina lets the left arm dangle before dealing to the righty batter with a 2-2 count. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. He delivers from the stretch. 2 low, ball 3. The count is full with the inning on the line. Three balls, 2 strikes. The big train have 1 runner on at first base. Still scoreless since the 3rd inning. 3-2. Roped to right field on a frozen rope. Nadeau rounds for 3rd, and he gets there with ease on the throwback. Now, Diaz tries to, and he's tagged out. An unwise decision from the right fielder who clearly had a single. Herb threw to 3rd, and Diaz thought he had green grass ahead of him, but instead he's tagged out for out number 3. The Cropdusters have 1 more shot to surmount a 3-run hole when we return for the top of the 9th. Anthony Swenda to lead off when we return. Stay with us here on YouTube for what could possibly be a thrilling conclusion. It all comes down to this. The Cropdusters trail the big train 8-5 into the top of the 9th. There's a new pitcher out there for the big train. Jonathan Stevens, another all-star, looks to slam this door shut. Up against the heart of the order, though, it will be no easy task. Jish, Sokolsky, Jack Feldman on the call for a crucial top of the 9th. Jonathan Stevens, the all-star righty for the big train.
Do you have a Sharpie by chance over here?
Has the second most strikeouts on the big train. Has 4 strikeouts in all but 2 games that he's appeared in.
Gold?
Coming in 8 separate games, he's allowed 14 hits, 6 walks, just 3 earned runs. The last guy the Cropdusters want to see, the Alabama righty, can throw absolute gas.
The Cropdusters are going to come back. They're going to have to earn it, Jish.
That goes without saying. Anthony Swenda to lead off for the Cropdusters, so it'll be righty dealing to righty. Swenda broke his hitless streak last inning with a single, came all the way around and scored in that wild 4-run inning for the Cropdusters to help them march all the way back. We're not done yet after the Cropdusters offense seemed seemingly dead through 7 innings, only 2 hits. Now up to 7 after 5 in the last inning. Anthony Swenda must get on base to keep this party going, keep the game alive. 8-5, the Big Train lead. Stevens, ready for his first pitch to Swenda. Settles and deals. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on some high heat.
Cropdusters going to need to work some at-bats, get some base runners on.
0-1 the count. Stevens has pitched in 1 game versus the Cropdusters. 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. A blazing fast heater right down the middle. In that game, Stevens only went 2/3 of an inning, allowed 2 hits with 1 strikeout, 1 hit by pitch. A game the Big Train won 13-10. 0-2 the count for the leadoff Swenda. The 0-2. Swing and a high fly ball driven to center field. Diaz walks forward and makes the play for out number 1. The Cropdusters are down to their final 2 outs with Ahiakoje stepping up to bat. Swenda has the power to go yard, just didn't have it there. Fastball died early in the outfield. Akoje also has that home run power, had his first home run in his last start. So far today, 0 for 2 with 2 walks. The first pitch, high and in for ball 1. Akoje is up now with Boma on deck. The tying run would be Parker Fry if he gets on. Swing and a miss for strike 1. The fastball has been lethal out of Jonathan Stevens' hands. 1-1 the count. 1 out the top of the 9th. Fastball inside, ball 2. Akoje pulls ahead. Cropdusters trail 8-5 in the top of the 9th. 1 out down. 2-1 the count for Akoje. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Stevens has had to throw it nothing but gas to get ahead of these Cropdusters.
Really finding success with that elevated fastball up and in on these right-handed hitters.
2-2 the count. Cold strike on the top corner. The Cropdusters are down to their final out after Ahiakoje goes down looking.
Look like it's going to be too little too late for the Cropdusters.
It's never over till it's over, but Cropdusters are down to their final out. Down 3 in the top of the 9th. Ryan Boma, a chance to extend the game against Jonathan Stevens, who got through the first 2 batters with ease and starts off with a strike down low to Boma. 0-1 the count. Even if the Cropdusters can't complete the comeback, you tip your cap to the effort. So the 0-1 finds the bottom corner for strike 2. Cropdusters down to their final strike. Stevens looking to put the dagger into the Cropdusters' heart with this next pitch. The 0-2. High and in, ball 1. We stay alive. 1-2 the count for Boma, who doubled his last at-bat to bring in 2. Has to play the hero again. Takes a fastball high and away for ball 2 to even things up. Keeps the game rumbling on, but he's down to his final strike in the top of the 9th. Crops trail 8-5. None on for Boma with 2 outs. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's your ball game. It became interesting at the end. The Cropdusters had 4 runs in the 5th, or in the 8th, excuse me. But the comeback ultimately falls short. The Cropdusters fall to the Big Train 8-5 here at Shirley Povich Field, and 12 and 15 on the year.
Yeah, they just were not able to get it done defensively. The pitching, too many free passes, too many walks, too many hit by batters, 4 errors in the infield. When was the last time we've seen that, Jish? And the offense was absolutely lifeless until the 8th inning where they exploded.
5 hits, 4 runs in the 8th inning. Not enough for the Cropdusters, still in search of that pesky win number 13. They lose 8-5 here at Shirley Povich Field. We'll see you tomorrow back at home. The Cropdusters have a date with the Metro South County Braves looking for revenge after a 3-2 loss the last time those teams played. Until then, stay safe, everyone. I'm Jish Sokolsky alongside Jack Feldman, saying so long and